Abraham, a giant of faith. Read 12, Genesis chapter 21, beginning at verse 8 through chapter 23 and verse 20. We've 4 stories about Abraham and his faith here. The first is 21:8 through verse 21. On the occasion Isaac was weaned as a little child, teenaged Ishmael was likely jealous and was caught by Sarah taunting little Isaac. Well, that caused a big blow-up, and Hagar and Ishmael had to go. Abraham was greatly grieved, but God came to him a 7th time and reaffirmed his promise toward Isaac. So Abraham sent them away. Hagar and Ishmael came into great distress. But as before, in chapter 16, verse 7, the angel of the Lord appears and delivered them. We'll only see a little something of Ishmael and his descendants in future readings. Then, with chapter 21, verses 22 through 34, we have a story of Abraham concerning an anti-aggression treaty with a local king, which is indicative that Abraham had himself become a considerable local power to be considerate of, even being past 100 years of age. Chapter 22 is Abraham's high water mark of faith. God tested Abraham, telling him to sacrifice Isaac. What? See Abraham's faith in action. He sets out early the next morning. He tells his 2 servants that he and Isaac will return to them. With verse 10, we come to the climax. And who should appear but this mercurial angel of the Lord again? Have you noticed the words this angel uses? Sometimes speaking in the first person, as if divine himself? This angel is the 8th and final visit of God unto Abraham. And once again, we see the promises of land, descendants, and Messiah. 3 of the 4 points God has expressed to Abraham, and of the 7 points of the Bible story outline in total. He is the most written about in God's faithful hall of fame, Hebrews chapter 11, where we read that he reasoned that God would still keep his promise to him if he had to raise Isaac from the dead. The chapter ends by preparing us for Bethuel and Rebekah, of whom we will be reading about next time. Our last story is of Sarah's passing, and Abraham making the arrangements for her burial. Chapter 23 tells us Sarah lived to 127, so our hero is 137. She must have died unexpectedly, as Abraham was in Beersheba, while she was at Hebron, more than 26 miles away. Again, we see that Abraham is esteemed locally as a very great man. He acquires a burial cave and the field it was in for today's equivalent of some $3,000 U.S. in silver. For many years it was said that the Bible was unreliable, as there were no Hittite peoples ever. That is, until their vast empire was archaeologically discovered in 1884, silencing Bible critics about the Hittites forever. They've been proven wrong about many of their criticisms since then. It's what the book is all about.